Hello, it is I, Heather McManus, founder of Collaborate to Win, bringing you product knowledge. It's Thursdays at 1 o'clock, so that means product knowledge time. So today I'm going to talk about one manufacturer that you're probably all very familiar with, but there may be some things that you don't know about them. So who's today's topic? Da, 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 da. Stanley, yes. So Stanley has been around for many, many years. They're pretty kind to interior designers. They have the ability to give a designer an account. And that doesn't mean that they are going to give you the best price point to start off with, because you got to do volume, but they do offer it to designers. They're not too fussy about that. Some companies are really like, we don't do that. So they have always been pretty nice to interior designers as far as access goes. And they were one of the first companies, I think, that was kind of sold everywhere. Like anybody could open an account with them. So they're really out there, which is why people know about them. And they offer a good starting price point. So I put them in the good category. I want to just remind you that we have a free gift for everyone on our website at collaboratetowin.com. And there's hyphens between the words, so it's collaborate-to-win.com. A free gift. So this is my customized personal good, better, best list of like all the top brands. So Stanley falls under the good category. So since they've been around for a long time and they were one of the first ones to offer their products even online, what you need to do is buy it at a really good price point so that your client can still get a discount and you can still make money. So that's why Collaborate to Win exists, so that we all pool together and have that better buying power. So we have a really nice discount for the group members, and that way your clients are going to get the good deal and you're going to make a profit. So that's the win-win. So I'm going to show you a few things. I have their big catalog, and I have their paper catalog. So here are some of the things that I just love. This I found to be really kind of a cool piece, really inspiring. This is one of the newer collections inspired by Cuba. What I like about their paper catalog is that they are showing you some really inspiring images. You know, they style everything really nicely. In the back of the book, they give you all of your options. So the way Stanley works is they have a collection, and it's not huge. See, it's not a ton of stuff in each collection, but they'll usually do a bedroom, a living room, and a dining room. Sometimes, you know, the bedroom's not selling that well, so they eliminate that, and then they wind up with just the living room, occasional stuff, and some other things. But so in this price point, you wind up having some turnover rate, where they decide, maybe let's not sell that one anymore, or this particular, I wanted to show you this dresser. I love this dresser. I think the double dresser can be so boring because it's a box with more boxes. So to put some style into a dresser is kind of hard to find, and I really liked this one here. It has such a retro, kind of cool but modern feel to it. And so they do the 3 colors. And then in the back of the book, along with all of the thumbnails, they also do the wood finishes. They will send you a sample. And they've got some faux chagrin in here and some fabrics and what the hardware looks like. So they give you a lot of selling tools in the catalog. But you know what? Actually more than half the time, I use their internet, their website. So, and they are working on that. They're putting out a whole new website, but they're still getting it all up and running. So if you go there now, you're going to see the one that they've had for many years, which is quite good, I got to say. And I will tell you more about that. So, this is a little more contemporary in styling, but they also do, like the European cottage thing. So you can have the other looks that you're looking for. So in each collection, you might get 2 finishes. So they've got a cream and a black. And this collection, let's see. So they also do like all of your occasional living room stuff. So, so you can get all those pieces. They do office as well. I do like their desks and file cabinets and bookcases and other things. And again, in the back, you've got the hardware, the finishes, some of the features, and all the pieces that it comes in here. So it's a pretty helpful tool when you're working with a client to be able to bring this, because when I'm trying to source, I will wind up using their website and probably make a printout or something, of the tear sheet. But it's nice to be able to bring the catalog to a client's house and say, see, this is, here it is in a setting. And so that's good. And here's just another piece of inspiration. The way they style, it's, it really does help to figure out what you might want to do with those pieces. They do a nice job of putting a whole room together, so that you can see what the piece does. All right, so that's kind of some of their products and what they can do. Here's another one I wanted to show you. If there's some special detail, they dedicated 2 pages to this so that you can really show that off. So having the paper catalog is nice, but I do love their website. So their website, when you get an account, you can sign in, and that way you can see what your price is, what the retail price is, and if they have that piece in stock. So with Stanley, they used to have everything come from China, and they recently moved the manufacturing facility to Vietnam, which means we avoid the tariffs that have started to happen. So that's pretty cool. And I don't know if everybody knows that because it was a pretty recent thing that they did. I just learned about it at this past market. So all of their products are now made in Vietnam. And Vietnam, if you didn't know, is kind of the North Carolina of the East. That's where all of the really nice stuff is made. They've got really, trained, talented people. And so that's really cool that they moved the facility to Vietnam so we don't have to worry about the tariffs. So yay. And another thing that people don't always know is that they used to have the Coastal Living collection, but they didn't re-up the license. So it wound up, now if you want the Coastal Living look, it's at Universal, which is also a great company, very similar in price and all that kind of thing, but they are China. They are made in China. So if you need Coastal Living, you got to go to Universal now. So that's neat. So once you get into their website, that tells you a lot of information that you really need to know. So I do love the fact that you can access that with getting your price, figuring out if it's going to be in stock, how, and if they don't have stock, then you can ask your sales rep, when are they expecting something to be in? Because if it is in stock, they ship out pretty quick. I mean, you can have a piece at your local warehouse 2 to 3 weeks out. So that's fairly quick for it to get from the North Carolina warehouse to wherever you are. When most companies will say, 6 weeks is generally a time frame. So they can be pretty quick if it's in stock. If it's not in stock, then, it could be a couple of months. So you just have to be careful sometimes and make sure that things are in stock. But it's so nice to be able to check that on their website. And then if it's not, just ask your sales rep, and then if you're in the timeline that you needed. So that's pretty cool. And they are working on a new website. So I'm not sure when that's going to be out. My sales rep says they're still working on it. And if you've ever done your own website, you know how long and technical it can be. Can you imagine trying to sell product through that and like have it be so complicated with other people signing in? So I can't even imagine like what it takes to make one of those websites. So that is also the other part of what's cool with Stanley. And they do it a little different from a lot of the other companies. Since they set up with freight companies, they made special deals so that it's included once you get through, because I purchase from the website, I will click the little button and add to my cart. And then once it's in my cart, I see what my even better discount is. And then at the last screen, they're also telling me what the freight is going to be, which is not the norm. Freight is not figured out by companies in general because it's another company that does the freight. It's not Stanley. They don't have trucks bringing it to your local warehouse. So they have contracted with Johnson and Sunbelt and some other ones to get better pricing. And because they get the better pricing, they also know what it's going to cost to ship that item from point A to point B. And so they calculate it right there in your invoice. So once you've paid, you've got your item price and you've got your freight price taken care of, one bill, which is really nice. And it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than what I would pay from somewhere else because they've worked that deal out. So they're passing a discount on to you. So I really do like that aspect. I also like the fact that, you know, I can just add to my cart and see everything right there on their website. So they do an excellent job on that. And then the other thing is that they have changed. So in our group, we had some people say, "Oh, I'm nervous about Stanley because it seems like, you know, they discontinued so much." And that was because they moved their factory. The manufacturing was in China and they were making all of, you know, these things. And then they moved to a whole different country, set up all new plants and came up with all new designs. So when they did that, it seemed like they might be a little like flaky or you weren't sure what was going on with them. And with so many businesses like going out of business and being in trouble and all that stuff, it does make a designer nervous, or even furniture stores, I'm sure, when you're going to go buy something from them and they're acting like, you know, well, that's discontinued and this is discontinued, you start to get a little nervous about doing business with them. Turns out they were just in the process of moving the manufacturer from one country to another. So in the process of doing that, they came out with all new product lines. And yeah, so it was a good thing. It was all fine. And they're also going to make the new website soon. And in the process of, well, this is going back a little ways too. So the kids furniture, they used to have Stanley Kids, and they did away with that sector for a little while and then introduced a different name. It's still made by Stanley, but it's called Stone and Lay. So that's their kids furniture. So if you do go to High Point, it's within their building, but it's under a different name. And maybe it says in the thing by Stanley. I'm not sure if they're bridging the gap in the name at all, but it's nice stuff. They don't have as many collections as they used to, but it's all the stuff that you need. You know, the little girl white furniture, yes, the dark furniture for the boy, and then some, you know, things that can cross over as well. And then what they introduced recently within the Stone and Lay was this amazingly good priced upholstery. I was so impressed when I sat on it, and then I looked at the price tag and I said, is that a typo? What am I looking at here? I don't understand how you can do this sofa at this cost, because they're shipping them with spring down cushions, which, if you know, that's the high end cushion. That's the cushion that I choose with my clients all the time, and it's usually you know, the step above, because it's going to price it out in whatever the, you know, foam and mix is. But I want a spring down. That's always my cushion, and that's usually an extra whatever it is. I would say for a sofa, you're probably like, you're about $100 more. That's an upgrade in the options that you get for cushions. So the fact that they're just shipping it with that standard, and there are no choices with fabric, with anything like that, it is what it is. But there was one where I was like, that's nice enough to put downstairs. Like, I would have that in my house, because it was the textured gray that everyone's so in love with right now. The arm was, you know, a sleek, normal, you know, contemporary style arm. There was, you know, it's not overly fancy, but it was perfectly fine, like the standard sofa. I was really impressed. So they did a good job on that collection, and I don't think that that's up on the website just yet, because they just introduced it this past market. So it takes a little while for these things to actually wind up, you know, on their website and able to be sold at the warehouse and all that stuff. So that's a bit about Stanley. I don't have much more on them, because I think you guys probably know a lot about Stanley since they've been around for a while. And so if you're able to get it at a good price, you know, then you can make a nice bit of money on purchasing Stanley. So that is all I have to say about Stanley for this week. Join me next week. I am going to show you how draperies are made, and tell you a little bit about what you should be putting into your work order, because sending a text to your workplace that is going to make something custom for you is not good enough. So we're going to go on a field trip. We're going to go see one of my workrooms. Her name is Robin Matthews, and she owns Seems So Right, and she's right here in my town, so I can easily go over there, and she's going to have a project laid out on her table for us. So she'll tell us about how things are made. We get to see a little bit of that, and then understand why you really need to give details and a full outline, because this is your design. You don't want to just text someone, oh, I think it should be 2 inches, blah, blah, blah. You hate it when a client does that to you with your design stuff. You know, 4 million text doesn't like add up to anything. You need it written down, and you need it. So we're going to go over that, and also get to see how something's made. So I hope you tune in next week for that. And thank you for joining me today. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Bye.